Good evening, folks. My name is Rotimi. I'm a former international student myself, so I enrolled at UBC in 2016 in the Faculty of Arts, majored in economics, minored in commerce, and throughout my campus experiences, co-ops, internships, volunteering were really impactful in allowing me to secure job opportunities post-graduation. So I'm excited to share a little bit about some of the networking tips that have been successful on my career journey, some of the career experiences that I've gained on campus and off campus, and hopefully really impact and inspire folks that are looking to kick off their careers in Canada. So thanks for having me.
Given the current economic climate and all that we've been hearing in the media about the ups and downs of the job market, it can be overwhelming for students to enter it. How can we use the labor market information to help us make informed career decisions and choices? And how can students remain hopeful and motivated in their job search?
I believe labor market information is a tool that students can leverage to gain deeper insights into how to advance your skill sets so that they're relevant in the hiring market that you're about to join. So for example, if there were second or third year students in the room that were looking for opportunities in the technology space, the first thing that I would do if I were in that position is research what are the fastest growing technology companies in Vancouver, what are some of the legacy technology companies in Vancouver. Then researching where are they investing most of their resources in terms of technological advancements. So I spent the past 2 years working as a recruiter at IBM, and they've been investing pretty significantly in quantum computing, for example. Artificial intelligence, as I'm sure most people are familiar with. So then as a student who's looking to get into the workforce, I then leverage that information to dive a little bit deeper into what job opportunities are going to be coming up in the quantum computing space. What industries might a skill set in quantum computing be most relevant for? And for example, clean energy, clean tech is rapidly growing in Vancouver, rapidly growing on the West Coast. So ultimately, labor market information is a tool that students should be using so that you're able to advance your skill sets in alignment with where the hiring market is going and where industries are going.
Thank you, Rotimi.
I would say if I have to pick one, probably the interview. So I'm going to differ a little bit from you both. I think you could be the best candidate on paper. You could have amazing. It's a case where you don't know anything about us or the role that you're applying for. So I would say probably the interview. I think maybe as well.
Your ability to verbally communicate with us and share your story and how that aligns with us. In terms of part to it, generally, we'd be looking at a combination of that education experience, training, and in your resume. Why is it that you are looking to go into this field if it's new to you, or why are you looking to have experience outside of Canada? Don't underestimate that experience either. At TransLink,
So there's about 2 to 3 really pivotal moments in my career in which networking has been the key to success or overcoming a failure. So it's fair to say, I can imagine that most folks in this room have gone through interview processes in which they've not been selected for the role. That's happened in my career numerous times. The very first was when I was interviewing for an opportunity at RBC. I wasn't selected after the phone screen, and networking is a way that I was still able to build a relationship with the recruiter, still build a relationship with the organization, and demonstrate my interest in the role. So how might that look? Say you're rejected for an opportunity, I would recommend really consistently following up with the recruiter. Demonstrate that you're still interested in learning more about the opportunities available in their organization. You're interested in understanding where the gaps in your skill set were and how you're able to improve on that gap, again, by skills development. And I think that's why networking is really crucial. As international students, many of us also do not have very well-established networks in Canada, talk less of in Vancouver. And so networking is a strategy that you're able to leverage to grow your personal brand. It's a way for you to demonstrate even how relevant the things that you're learning in the classroom might be able to apply in the work setting. So there's really two recommendations that I would have. One is, again, networking conversations with individuals and organizations that you're interested in, particularly if you've actually been turned down for a job opportunity there, because if they've demonstrated interest in your candidate profile, networking allows you to demonstrate, hey, even though I wasn't selected for this opportunity, I'm someone who is perseverant, I'm someone who is always on the go and looking for ways to improve. And the one way that you can demonstrate that to folks that influence the hiring process is networking. The second is LinkedIn. I think networking is a tool to grow your personal brand. So as you're going through courses that might be really impactful or you're really excited about what you're learning, make sure you share about those lessons on your LinkedIn. The way that I returned to IBM as a talent acquisition partner is because I resigned from my previous role, and on LinkedIn I shared that I was looking for recruitment opportunities, that I wanted to work more on employee experience initiatives. And that's how a talent acquisition manager at IBM reached out to me to apply for my most recent role. And so networking has proven to be really successful and really impactful at numerous stages of my career, and it's something that I consistently recommend to folks early in their career to build that sustainable launch pad in terms of the connections that you're able to build. Again, also accessing labor market information, which you mentioned, from folks that influence the hiring process. And also for you to create a strong personal brand that begins to attract recruiters and attract opportunities. So that's my response.
Thanks.
So I would consider myself to be an entrepreneur currently. Reason being, I was actually impacted by layoffs for my most recent role at IBM. Now, one of the things that I enjoyed most while working at IBM was really being able to contribute to their recruitment strategy and how they were able to diversify the talent pipeline for roles I was recruiting for. So for example, as a recruiter for strategy consultant opportunities, we noticed that there was very limited women representation in the talent pipeline. Same thing for technical roles. And so some of the tasks that I would work on while at IBM would include building partnerships with external talent networks focused on empowering women in consulting roles, women in technical roles, Black professionals in the tech industry, for example. And that's been really impactful within IBM, and I know many other organizations have similar approaches, so that they're not only growing their employer brand, my bad, but they're also increasing their ability to attract diverse talent. So now the scope of work that I do, of course I'm here speaking at UBC, I also very frequently speak at HR technology conferences on diversity recruitment strategy. And so I coach recruitment teams on how to set up these partnerships with talent networks, how to promote an employer brand that's inclusive, how to create job descriptions that are able to attract folks that typically feel excluded from the requirements that are listed. And so that's the way that I'm presently contributing to diversity, equity, and inclusion in the corporate workplace within Canada and in the US as well. And that's something that I think many organizations are delved into today.
That we really see as foundational. So anti-racism team, and equity, diversity, and inclusion team, all of which work that diversity is and inclusion and equity is really built in from the point of bringing on new staff to the foundation for how we build our organization.
Appreciate it. Well, with this last question, we'll finish the panel discussion. Huge thank you to our incredible speakers.
From that platform and using that immediately, there's going to be no element of you in it. It's just going to be, what you can find online.
Yeah, but when it's used very frequently, and if everybody is using what you're putting forward is unique to you, and it doesn't backfire and just kind of make everything look like every other.
Yeah, so the foundation of my business is really DI recruitment and consulting. So speaking is a part of the funnel that I leverage to our speaking engagement, to resources like individual research.
4 years, 5 years that you spend here, and it goes really credit to me. So there's never going to be a way for you to say, I'm going to volunteer here and that's going to land me this interview on me. And you're doing it, sure, because there's things to learn, but you're going to be learning the rest of your life. Like, do it because you want to have fun, do it because to look for things, yes, and that's good. Also see 4+ years, 3+ years, so that's good, show your exposure. I like the awards component too, because as a student, as someone with limited work experience, recruiters are looking for your leadership experience. So if you've received this, so if you're able to have a conversation with an individual that really appreciates your energy, that might be what makes them choose you and just like finish a degree. Honestly,
I mean,
I did not like economics.
after Math 100, Math 101, I know econ is something.
I actually as a student,
I think your head also
yeah, originally
using the world.
What's one thing
Only for you to dictate where your opportunities are going to come from. So I joined that just for fun, but in my very first interview for Zoho, they were asking about that